Starting. Okay, so we started.
All right, so now we'll just do kind of the feedback closing part of the circle where we can each share like how this circle was for all of us, benefits, hard parts, or any less super quick final thoughts. Um, I'll go and then I'll call on people because that's really quick. Um, I was kind of like out of it and not as invested because I didn't really feel like I had a lot of strong feelings on the topic, but it's always interesting how once people start talking, I do have thoughts come up, um, you know, even if I didn't have a lot coming in, whatever, regardless of the topic. And um, so, yeah, it was just interesting. And it's interesting how, like, I'm thinking about how each week there's like a starting topic and then we get down to these like deeper like philosophical layers, like this week it was about celebrities and we started talking about like reason and emotion and felt experience. Last week it was unions and then we were talking about like, oh my god, like whether people are good or bad. And um so uh and I just wanted to share like one final thing, which is that or there was two things I was thinking of, but I forgot one of them. And that, yeah, Hollywood's always been involved in like, people have always been able to use that to give influence. And there's some interesting movies about like using like the portrayal of different groups. And there was a series where they did one called Real Indians, like real, like REEL, that was about the portrayal of Native Americans throughout film history. And they did one called Real Arabs, again, REEL, which was about the portrayal of like Arabic people throughout the history of Hollywood. So this might be interesting if anyone wants to check them out. Edwin, would you like to go next?
Oh, yeah. I really liked it that I wasn't facilitating, didn't have any responsibility. It just feels great that I could just be a participant, and I enjoy that. So glad that others were taking that role. Um, I didn't think much of the topic to begin with, but then again, it seems like anywhere you start, it really can open up into really uh, interesting topics. I was really quite fascinated with talking about this whole topic. The deeper we got into it, kind of the more engaged I got into it, and yeah, so yeah, just feeling appreciative for everyone for being here and just sharing, and I felt it was very enriching, and I really appreciate it. I enjoy it a lot. That's it.
All right, Jessica.
Yes, I enjoyed the circle. I like the way the topic was pretty varied from just talking about the influence of entertainment and culture on the society to how people deal with reason, emotions, and their particular descriptions of what reason and emotions might mean to each one of them and people's different experiences. I thank everybody for participating.
Thank you. David?
Yeah, I think it was pretty good. I found it slightly frustrating that the people that like only me and Jessica really kind of felt that Hollywood had like a strong leftist bias, and I guess one would have to feel like it's a thorn to your side to really pay attention to it. And I think maybe in a couple months, if they made a movie about those black kids who kidnapped that mentally handicapped kid in Chicago and tortured him for hours, if they threw that on the silver screen in front of everyone's face and promoting that you might feel that that was a bit excessive. And that's basically how I feel like I'm being bombarded, to the point where I'm very selective of what movies I don't even want to see anymore, So I feel like the reason I paid more attention to it is because it's a thorn to my side.
Mm.
And that's the reason I picked this topic. And that's, and I enjoy talking to everyone in here, and that's about it.
All right. Well, I guess that's it then. I'm like having a bunch of thoughts now as we're wrapping up that maybe we could bring this back at some point. But for now,
You pick the topic next week. So,
yeah,
or maybe
yeah.
Jessica. Are you going to be here next week, Jessica?
I think so, yeah.
We'll talk about it in private chat.
Yeah, we'll figure out how to pick